A fireman must have special personal qualities. He must have physical courage and on occasion must voluntarily face extremities of danger. It is the element of risk and the demand for courage which sets a fireman's job apart from others. But bravery is not the only personal quality needed. A fireman must be able to work as part of a closely integrated team, the watch to which he belongs. He must obey orders without question, especially at an incident, but also show initiative when working on his own. All of these qualities may be needed in other occupations, but we know of none in which, together with courage in the face of danger, they are needed in combinations to such a degree as in the fire service. This is Station 2, A Division, Colchester, part of the Essex County Fire Brigade. Like all stations throughout the country at this time, it is White Watch that are on duty. From the headquarters at Brentwood, a 999 call is received. The control informs Station 2 and puts the bells down. For Brentwood, this is another routine call. For the men on White Watch, it's another half-eaten meal. It doesn't take many seconds for the rescue pump and rescue tender to leave the station. The call, or shout as the men refer to it, is to a road traffic accident. Fortunately for the injured man, the rescue tender's cutting gear is not required. However, the rescue pump's hose reel is. It is used to wash down petrol from the road. Station 2 is the busiest in A Division, and by the end of this year will have averaged 1,600 calls. It covers an area of approximately 200 square miles and is responsible for the lives and well-being of the people within its boundaries. The rescue tender is sent back to the station. But for the men on the rescue pump, there is still work to be done before they too can return to base to enjoy the remains of the meal they left an hour ago. It takes a minimum of 12 men to operate the Colchester station. 4 on the pump, 4 on the rescue pump, 2 on the turntable ladder and 2 on the rescue tender. There are 17 men on White Watch, although it is rare for them all to be on duty at one time, due to sickness, leave and the like. Sometimes it is even necessary to bring a relief man from another station. The station is divided into 4 watches, red, white, blue and green, each working 2 9-hour day shifts and 2 15-hour night shifts on an 8-day rota. Each watch is commanded by a station officer, although this rank may vary from station to station. However, before a man can even reach an operational fire station, he must first undergo basic training. The Essex County Fire Brigade Training School is based at Hatfield Road, Witham. The premises comprise the use of number 49 Station Witham, together with a purpose-built building adjoining the drill ground. Recruits into the brigade undertake an intensive 16-week course comprising of 14 weeks at the training school and 2 weeks at Breathing Apparatus School, Chelmsford. In this time, recruits are instructed and examined on all aspects of the profession, both theoretically and practically. At Whittam, the basic concepts, practical uses and servicing of operational equipment, which comprises ladders, pumps, hose, ropes and lines, is taught, together with first aid, methods of rescue, firemanship, hydraulics and fire prevention. 1 week is devoted to specialised training in crash rescue work and light vehicle driving, and at Breathing Apparatus School in the wearing and servicing of breathing apparatus sets and decontamination procedures. Upon completion of basic training, and after passing out parade, such as this one for the men of Recruit Squad 281, the men are posted to operational stations, where training and operational experience are maintained for a total of 4 years, during which time periodic attendance on courses is necessary.
My name's Spurway. I'm Station Officer in charge of White Watch, and this is Sub-Officer Bruce, my second in charge.
On arrival at his new station, the recruit attends an interview with his station and sub-officers, at which his duties on the watch are explained to him. And so, after 16 weeks of training, he is ready for his first parade with White Watch.
Right, parade show. This week's BROs, there's a new ordering in for promotion exams. So anybody interested in the promotion exams, there's a new syllabus and new manuals.
At Station 2, Station Officer Spurway, who is officer in charge of White Watch, is taking parade, together with his sub-officer, George Bruce. One of the first duties of the day, after being allocated their respective jobs, is to check all the equipment.
There are many items of equipment upon which we are dependent that have to be checked at the change of each watch. Certain members of the watch are designated as breathing apparatus wearers, and as such have to check that the cylinder on each set has sufficient contents and that the set is in a satisfactory operational state. The driver of each appliance has to check not only that the appliance has sufficient oil and water, but also that the operational equipment stowed on the appliance is all there and in good working order.
After all the equipment has been checked, there is time for a tea break, where the drills and jobs for the forthcoming day are discussed. One such drill is that of setting up the escape ladder.
Years back, all two machine stations had one of these 50-foot wheeled escapes on them, and a very good piece of equipment. And part of the interesting piece about it was every year we had an annual pump escape competition drill. It was around September time normally, and when we were young firemen we got involved in this. Me being small, I got the job of the dummy, and that involved at the start of the drill the carrier ran the escape to the 3rd floor, immediately followed by myself as the dummy. We got to the 3rd floor, and I fell across his shoulders in the third floor window. He immediately came out on the escape and carried me down to the heel board. On the sound of a whistle blown by the officer in charge of the drill, he would throw me off and remove himself. I would immediately run the ladder again, following the man carrying the branch to the third floor of the tower again, where we got the branch to work as quickly as possible. On when the water appeared from the jet, the whistle went for the end of the drill, and that was all over in a matter of seconds.
Weather conditions can determine greatly as to the type of shout White Watch might expect in a day. For example, rain on a previously dry road could mean an influx of RTAs. Due to the excellent fire prevention schemes and new fire regulations, the amount of fires that are attended are diminishing, and the fire service is becoming that of a rescue service, involved in all types of work.
The RT is one of the busiest and the most versatile appliances on the station. Its many roles include road traffic accidents, major disasters, chemical spillage and decontamination, and many other aspects of rescue work. In addition, it is also used as a breathing apparatus main control and servicing area and for salvage work.
Once again, the rescue pump and rescue tender are sent out. This time it's to an RTA in the Colchester area. Route cards are kept in the watch room and are given to the departing appliance if needed. Mostly they rely on their own knowledge and that of their colleagues to direct them to a call. Fortunately, this one was on the main Colchester road and route cards were not required.
The appliance carries no water or pump, so as such cannot deal with fires. But as it is always mobilised with at least one pumping appliance, this side of the incident is well covered. This pump also provides at least 4 extra men in addition to the RT's 2 crew members. Its much and varied equipment includes a built-in generator, high-intensity floodlighting on an extending mast, 1 fixed and 2 portable winches, 6 gas-tight suits, 6 breathing apparatus sets and 4 airline packs for use at chemical incidents, and Hurst hydraulic spreading and cutting gear for use at RTAs. There are at the moment 4 such appliances in the Essex Brigade, these being stationed at Colchester, Harlow, Grays and Lee.
Life on a fire station is not all work and toil. There's a lighter side too. Station 2 have chosen this year's carnival procession for their fun and games. And the work involved in the building of Trump 2 has paid off, as the Challenge Cup was won.
But you've got various small gear, shovels...
All children and adults have a deep affection for the fire engine. And one of the many local fetes is a good time for the rescue tender to go on display. It gives the fire service a chance to do a little public relations work. Throughout the year, these types of visits are carried out, either to fetes, hospitals, or playgroups, or schools. At the station, parties from clubs, societies and schools are taken round. On the 24th of September of this year, a 24-hour fire swim was launched. Teams from all over the Colchester area took part. It is hoped that approximately £13,000 will be raised for local charities and the Fire Brigade Benevolent Fund. The swim was attended by Olympic swimmer Sharon Davies, much to the enjoyment of the firemen. The drill in progress shows the teamwork of the 4 men on the water tender, each having a specific job to do. The tender carries approximately 1,800 litres of water and has a pumping capacity of 2,200 litres per minute. The combination of branch, jet and pressure determines the rate at which the water is used up. Because of this, it is often necessary to connect up to a water hydrant to give a continuous water supply. The appliance carries 2 60-metre lengths of high-pressure hose reel, together with 17 lengths of 25-metre hose, referred to as a jet. There can be a considerable distance between the appliance, the hydrant and the branchman. Therefore, all instructions are repeated to ensure everyone is aware of the proceedings.
We're on number 1 delivery, 4 bars pressure working on the ground floor. We're on number 2 delivery, 4 bars pressure working on the ground floor. We're on number 2 delivery, ground floor, 4 bars pressure. Turn on the hydrant. Turn on the hydrant.
The exercise, the men are briefed so that they know which part each man has to play.
We're going to do a sewer exercise today over at the North Station. The crews are as follows on board. The BA men will be Goody, Eyre, Swan and Fleming. I want you to enter through the top entrance where we will be parked. One team is to go left, one team is to go right.
The object of the drill is to recover an injured person from below ground level.
You come out where you went in, because you want to know where it goes. So whoever's looking after you.
Breathing apparatus is essential because of the toxic gases found in sewers. Each BA man hands his tally to the BA control to enable the officer in charge to be aware of the men's location and the time that they have been committed.
Once down the sewer, the men, working in teams of 2, work their way along the passages of the sewer. Under normal conditions, lines will be worn to enable them to find their way back through the warren of passages. The BA sets contain 46 minutes of air at normal breathing capacity, but is used up more quickly under strain.
At this station, we are fortunate enough to have a turntable ladder, which can be used to extricate the casualty.
Once the casualty has been found, he must be brought up to the surface as quickly as possible.
Keep coming. Take it easy.
When we try and turn them, I always stuck on to a post more.
Keep right, that's it. Yep.
Drills and exercises are interspersed with other duties of the watch, and the combinations and situations of such drills are endless. and are designed to keep the men working as a complete unit. While all such drills and exercises are taking place, the watch is still on full alert, and as such must attend all calls.
The breathing of the set, it was eerie.
Although all fully trained firemen, briefings and lectures are always necessary because of the ever-changing environment in which they work.
Before the
The last call out on the day watch was to Severals Hospital. It required a 4-pump attendance, 3 from Colchester and 1 from the retained station at Wivenhoe. Being a hospital, it's an automatic 4-pump attendance, one of these being the turntable ladder because of the height of the buildings. Breathing apparatus sets were worn by some of the men, however it was discovered to be only a faulty boiler, and the problem was passed over to the plumber. These kinds of incidents, referred to as Code 2s, good intent calls, happen frequently and are all part of the fireman's day.
Can you contact Station 2 by landline and inform them that all appliances are now returning to home station?
At 1800 hours, the night watch comes on duty. It is not unusual for the oncoming watch to take over from the off-going watch midway through a job. On this particular occasion, White Watch had the job of cleaning the breathing apparatus gear used by the previous watch. It is essential that the BA sets are kept in good working order. They are stored in the breathing apparatus room, where they are refilled with compressed air and the pressures checked. The face masks are washed thoroughly and checked for blockages and leaks. They are reassembled after all the links, straps and air pipes have been examined.
Trevor, can you get someone to service one of these BA sets, please?
This procedure is repeated every time a BA set is in use, for hygienic reasons and of course to have the sets in a constant state of readiness. It is not unknown for a watch to spend the whole night duty without a shout, but this was not to be the case for White Watch this evening. Prompt action by a caretaker's son brought a 2-pump attendance to a fire at a local school. Within 3 minutes of the call being received, the fire service were in attendance. To the inexperienced eye, the fire appeared vast, but it was soon apparent to be contained to only one classroom. Men were sent in wearing breathing apparatus sets, and within minutes the fire had been contained and finally put out. The surroundings were ventilated to remove the thick black smoke, and a spot lamp set up to help with the cleaning up. The fire and smoke devastated the science laboratory, and the intense heat completely melted strip lighting and plastic stools. On a routine inspection of the remainder of the school, it was discovered that the fire had been in the work of an intruder breaking in through a skylight. It was 2 hours before the pump returned to the station, although one of the pumps had returned a short while before. This, however, was not the end of the job. A return visit was made to check the fire had not restarted. For the men, this was one of the more satisfying sides of their job, that is, to contain and extinguish what could have been a very serious fire. It is required that the men have a drill and some form of physical exercise on each night duty, and on occasion make fire prevention visits and safety checks to public buildings. This is normally done before 9:15, at which time there is an official stand-down period. This means the men can relax or pursue other activities, although they are still on duty and must not leave the station, and any outstanding work must be attended to. It is about this time that supper is made. During the day shift a cook is provided, but on the night watch the men are left to their own devices. This often leads to a diversity of menu. A mess manager takes responsibility for the buying of food, and the men pay into a mess fund, and the duty man for the shift is responsible for the general tidiness of the mess. Many prefer to watch TV or play darts or just rest on their bunks. The night shift is a long one, and without the relaxation would appear endless, particularly if no call-outs were received. There is no official time for lights out, but by about 1 a.m. the station is usually asleep. The feeling of being woken at 1:40 in the morning by the sound of the bells going down and the automatic lights coming on is something that cannot be described, but must be experienced.
The early hours of the morning, and Colchester's water tender is ordered to a fire on a rubbish tip at Shrub End. On arrival, leading fireman Owen decides he needs an extra appliance to provide more water. Control, therefore, order the rescue pump from Colchester, who on arrival set up a light portable pump into a nearby pond to provide water. This became an extended job in which relief from a retain station, Wivenhoe, was required. It was to be 6 a.m. before all appliances returned to their home stations.
Humour is rife in all fire stations, and Colchester's no exception. The dummy, heavily disguised as a cook, was acquired from a local shop for use in drills. Under normal circumstances, the station rises at 7 a.m. and breakfast is at 8. There is a little time to shower and change before White Watch can hand over the station to the oncoming watch. But in this last half hour of the duty, White Watch are still on alert.
Control 302, over. Control 302, returning to home station and available, over.